What's going on? I just wanted to film a quick walk around video of the CJ project before it gets started here. So what we're looking at here is a 1980 to 82 model, not sure exactly in the year. Guy I bought it from didn't quite know. Model CJ7. It's gonna be a long project, but it's already got some of the goodies I wanted on it. So let's start with those. So under the hood here, got 350 small block Chevy. It's a healthy motor, it sounds like. I'm gonna do an oil change on it later today, but I'll fire it up here in a second. You'll be able to hear it. I got 14 bolt rear. It's got some kind of locker in there. I'm going to investigate what that is. I'm not sure on the gearing. I'm also going to check that out too while I'm in there. Disc brake or drum brakes on there right now, so that's going to get changed out. It's a 10 bolt front end. So it's all, basically 3/4 ton Chevy drivetrain. It's got a turbo 350 with a NP203 transfer case. Other than that, I mean, it's the CJ. It's right now on YJ springs though. Those leaf springs are not going to be staying in there very long, to be honest. I already got plans to change those out. Interior wise, it's not the greatest, but these seats are changing. These harnesses are going to change. They might be okay, but I'm not going to trust them. It's got a cage on it. It's not the best cage in the world, but it's, it's pretty solid. I would like if it had kind of something back here, but we may be able to do something about that later. Pretty much standard CJ dash and all. Got an extra couple gauges up here. So that's kind of the basics of it. Let's talk about the bad parts now. Bad parts, as you can see here, you may not be able to tell that well, but the steering is kind of janky. It's bad. You don't want to drive it more than like 5 miles an hour because it tries to kill you. Transfer case shifter is messed up right now, which that's, from what I hear, a common thing with these 203s. They got kind of a complicated setup. I don't know why. So that's something to look into. Although we'll talk about that more when I get into my plans for it. The other thing is it's got some electrical stuff going on here. Just random wires hanging down, and from what I heard, they basically had to replace the harness and all, and I guess when he did that, he just kind of cut off anything that wasn't immediately needed. So like all these lights down here aren't hooked up to anything, and there's a electric fan over there. I don't know if you can see it or not. That's not hooked up to anything. I mean, other than that, it's not too bad. Rear brake line's kind of janky, but that's getting changed out anyway. And oh, the front doesn't have shocks for some reason. Yeah, that should be kind of somewhere right about here, and there's nothing there. So that's odd. So the plans for it here. Obviously that 14 bolt is staying. It's about the strongest axle you can get for the rear without going, something crazy, 2.5 tons or something like that. I guess 80 might be stronger. I'm not too sure about the 80s. But yeah, so it's staying, but it's gonna get 4-linked, probably on some ORI struts, something like that. It's gonna get disc brake conversion, truss, all that fun stuff. Based on what the gear ratio is in there, it might get re-geared, because I've tracked down a front axle for it already, because that 10 bolt's not staying. From what I heard, that 10 bolt's about the same strength as a 44, so probably be fine for these 37s, but I'm looking bigger. So that's gonna go. And obviously different suspension in the front. I think Probably be 3-link with a track bar in the front. One of the main things, as you can see here, 1, 2, there's no 3. So we're missing a third pedal. That's because it's got that Turbo 350 automatic transmission in it right now, which that's not how we roll. So looking for a probably an SM465 to put behind it, and then I'm not sure on the transfer case yet. I'm still kicking around some ideas there. Originally I thought about using the 203 as a doubler and put a 205 behind it, but the more I look into that, it's really for what you spend, unless you have it already. You have both ready to go, and it's just not really worth it. So I'm still looking at options. Haven't decided. That may end up being what we do, I don't know. But interior wise, obviously the seats are gonna get changed. I've already got those. Got new harnesses. So you may see about beefing up the cage a little bit more. As far as all the gauges here go, your tach's hooked up, and your water temp is hooked up. See up here? Oh, there you go. Water temp's hooked up, but the oil pressure and the amps are not. This water temp and oil pressure are not. The speedometer's not. Fuel gauge is not. So we got, I said, tach and water temp right now. I'd like to get oil pressure and fuel level at the very least. Speedometer I don't really care about because this is an off-road toy. It's not really ever going to go fast. Need to get all our headlights hooked back up. Let the electric fan hooked up, because why not? I think it's mainly to pull through the transmission cooler. You can see it's right there, and the fan's on the back side of that. So I think that's the main reason for it, but I still like to have it hooked up. It's still nameless at the moment, but if anybody's got any name ideas, drop them down in the comments below. And if you want to follow along with the build, obviously, you know, subscribe and do all that stuff.